So, I'm here in the EY Olympic Reunion Centre with Kim Brennan, Olympic champion Kim Brennan. So first and foremost, before we get stuck into any talk about EY or the internship, we're backing on here to the rowing venue. How do you feel 2 days on after winning the gold medal?
Yeah, it feels really special. I think seeing my coach still having that smile on his face makes you realise everything that you've been through, and so nice to share this with all the people who have supported me.
Good. So I suppose you've been pretty busy the last couple of days. Your feet haven't touched the ground. Reflecting on it now, all the heartache you've had of London, and even 4 days before you were racing and it was terrible conditions. What was that like to sort of overcome that adversity? You know, going back 4 years and then 4 days before when you had terrible conditions out there.
Yeah, I think the adversity is part of what makes this so special, because sport is an arena where things can go right and things can go wrong, and the thing that I love most about it is when things don't go right is having that opportunity to learn and to improve. And I was really lucky at this regatta. It was the heats race that we rowed in absolutely terrible conditions, and my boat was pretty close to sinking, and I only just scraped through to the next round, to the quarterfinals, and that gave us the opportunity to go back, and we actually changed boats. I raced in a bigger boat for the rest of the week, and changed some of our equipment, and really worked on my technique. And it was one of those things that was such a good opportunity to improve, and at the end of the day, that's why I do this sport, because I love that opportunity to see what I'm capable of.
So we're here in the present day now, rewinding a number of years ago when you had to sort of overcome adversity when you were a runner, and you had an injury to your foot, and you had to sort of make a switch, or you made the switch, whether that was a conscious thing or just a natural thing that happened. Just tell us where that part of your life, how that sort of shaped and helped make you into the person you've become.
Yeah, so just a bit of context. Back when I was a teenager, I did track and field. I was a 400 metre hurdler. I went away to the World Youth Championships and won a silver medal. When I was 19, I injured my navicular, which is a bone at the top of the foot. I had surgery on it, and the surgeon told me I'd never run again. I remember at that point in time just thinking that it was the worst thing that could ever possibly have happened to me. Athletics was everything. All I wanted to do was go to the Olympics. But because of that injury, I got the opportunity to try rowing. I was doing my rehab, and the rowing coaches spotted me on a rowing ergo, and I found a sport that is my absolute love and passion, and just such a wonderful community. I think that's the thing that I loved most about rowing from the start, was how welcoming the people were, and how much you learn in working in those team boats in rowing. And so I think the biggest thing that I've taken with me is to always see adversity as a real advantage. It's something that's going to make you better and make you stronger, and you may not be able to see it at the time, but to be able to look back and realise that every single thing that was tough and every single thing that went wrong in the end has made you a better, stronger person. And I think that that's one of the really special things about sport.
So now back in the present day, and looking forward to the future. You've been selected, and you've selected this internship program with EY, which is going to start in the next couple of months. You've got quite a slightly different background, because you're a qualified solicitor, and you've got good work experience in the commercial world already. But what are you hoping to gain from these next 6 months working with EY and the internship?
I think in this point of my career, I've been working in the legal sphere for the past 6 years, and coming towards the end of my rowing career, and I'm really looking forward to a new challenge. I'd love to learn something new, and I think what EY offers is such a dynamic, excellence-focused organisation, and the opportunity to learn some new things is something that sport has always given me. And I think if I'm going to step away from rowing, I'm going to need a big challenge to keep me occupied, and I really love the prospect of seeing if I can try something slightly different from the legal sphere, but using some of those skills, and I just want to make the most of the opportunity.
And you've already had experience with EY, with the Women's Athlete Business Network, and I'm sure you found some value from that, and hopefully in the future we'll have a lot more girls from the internship program on that. Do you find that the effort and time that EY have invested in women coming from sport has been something that's drawn you towards them as a company?
Absolutely. I think I've always been very particular about who I want to work with. In regards to sport and sponsors, I would never accept a sponsorship from a company that I don't believe in. If I don't think they conduct themselves with integrity, that's not the sort of company or organisation I want to be a part of. And what I really value about EY is they've taken a real initiative with the Women Athlete Business Network, and they've done something that a lot of other companies haven't done. A lot of other companies say that they value gender equity and they say that they value striving for excellence, but they don't do anything different, and they don't think outside the sphere of how can we actually make a difference. And that's what I love. It's this forward thinking, and it's taking a little bit of a risk, but one that we are so incredibly grateful for, and the excellent opportunities that it's given us. So I think having that ability to think outside the square is definitely something that's drawn me to EY.
And the process that you've been through with EY on this selection and with ACT, I suppose, has that given you confidence that you're in a good crop of women who are really going to be supported and well mentored through this next 6 months?
It definitely is. It's a wonderful program. I think something about when you're looking to transfer to a slightly different career is being uncertain about how you're going to learn those new skills, and structuring it as an internship is absolutely perfect, and having a peer cohort to go through this experience with is fantastic. Amongst the rowing contingent of the intern program, we're already great friends. As I said before, the rowing community is incredibly close, and we really enjoy each other's company, and it will be really exciting to transfer those skills that we've learnt from rowing and from sport, and see if we can take that to the business sphere.
Now, nearly every day in sport, and especially in rowing, is hard. So I'm sure you're not going to shy away from the challenges that are going to come with this transition into EY and into business. Is this something you're looking forward to? Oh,
absolutely. I think if there wasn't a challenge to it, I think there would be a strong prospect that I might get bored. So I love the idea of doing something that is slightly outside my comfort zone. The things that you look back on most fondly are the things that do make you a little bit nervous. They do make you a little bit uncertain, and that's when we learn so much about ourselves and really see what we're capable of. And that's what's fun and about being a human being, seeing how much we can learn and enjoying each day and taking the opportunity to learn new things.
Now your new husband, is a gold medal winner also, so is that going to bring a bit of parity at home?
Oh, we joke about it, but I think, the biggest thing with Scott is he's always been so supportive of my own rowing dreams, and he was very much an inspiration for my own rowing journey, and I really felt that out there in the boat he was there in spirit, and I, as much as possible, tried to emulate what he did 8 years ago in Beijing, and it was quite special when I got off the water and was reminded that the last Australian rowing gold medalist was my husband Scott.
Now, when I founded ACT, it was a seminal moment in Kilimanjaro. I hear that you're going to venture up the mountain in the next couple of months as part of your honeymoon.
I think as typical rowers, our honeymoon isn't going to be sitting on a beach. We are very excited to go and climb Mount Kilimanjaro. It's just a great opportunity to see an absolutely beautiful part of the world, and we love a bit of adventure, and just the opportunity to spend some quality time together is something that I'm so looking forward to. So it will be actually nice to have a little bit of a break from rowing and the world of sport, and just relax with the person I love.
Now you're involved in lots of other organisations. Is that something you hope to keep going while you're working with EY?
Yeah, I had the privilege of chairing the Australian Olympic Committee Athletes Commission for the past 4 years, and as part of that role I sat on the executive board of the Australian Olympic Committee, and I learnt so much about what goes on behind the scenes to make it possible for what we do as athletes, but also working with a wonderful group of athletes who are striving to be the very best and really developing a strong team culture within the Australian Olympic team. And I think they're definitely skills that are applicable, not only in sport, not only in sitting on boards or in businesses, but in everyday relationships. And I've learned a lot about office dynamics and organisational dynamics, and it's an area that I would love to continue. I think I've still got a lot to learn, and just such a privilege to work with such exceptional people on something that brings a lot of joy to people when the Olympics are on each 4 years.
Now, with your work with the Athletes Commission, you've looked at the area of elite athlete transition and its challenges. Is this program something you would like to become more mainstream post-Olympics for many athletes, with other companies that similar to EY that could offer really good opportunities for athletes?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things we identified on the Athletes Commission for the whole 4-year period was the difficulty that so many athletes have transitioning out of sport. And so our big focus was making sure that we can do a better job in the future of having the support networks available for people when they're trying to cope with a new identity post a sport career, but also finding something else to do. I think sometimes it can be really challenging to balance work and study while competing. There are huge training demands and travel demands, and having organisations that are willing to see that the skills that you've got through sport might be transferable, and that they can teach you those bits of knowledge that come with the territory. But having organisations like EY who are taking a little bit of a risk but also a long-term investment in athletes is a huge thing, and this will be a project that we're really looking to expand within the Australian Olympic Committee, and it was just a beautiful synergy with what ACT were doing, and feels like a couple of worlds were colliding at the same time when I heard about this program, because it was almost exactly the blueprint of what we were trying to produce ourselves. So watch this space.
Yeah, and I think on that note, there's probably a real big thank you from the athletes and from ACT to the leaders in EY who have helped us create this program and worked very closely with us to create something that is world class, that is groundbreaking, and hopefully will set the mold for future programs to help lots more athletes like Kim. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your support.